For those of you who, I guess all of you should be knowing Vidra MHP because this is an event meant for Vidra MHP, but I'm still giving a quick introduction simply because we are also recording this, and maybe if we make it available later on, uh, people would have a brief idea about what we do. So one, Vidra MHP is an initiative that we launched a few years back. The primary objective of that initiative was to create awareness about the need for people to visit a mental health practitioner, not when they have a mental and emotional disorder, but before that, so that they can prevent any of those emotional and mental challenges. So we were predominantly looking at using Visit MHP as an initiative to promote positive psychology. One of the challenges that I started facing was that a lot of people connected with me and they told me that, Nitin, so who do we connect with when you say visit a mental health practitioner? Now, well, for those of you who don't know, we have ICHAs where we train a lot of people into offering advanced therapeutic and coaching services. But people over there have done a course with us at a particular cost. So obviously, they would like to charge an X amount of money from their participants or from their clients. And not every client is capable of affording that much. So we were looking at other things that we can do to promote their initiative, which was independent of ICHAS. And which was Visit MHP is not an ICHAS initiative. It's an ICHAS Support Foundation initiative, which is an NGO. And hence, we started exploring different ways in which we could help and support other practitioners that we were confident about referring clients to, along with obviously the ICHAS students that we have. That's where the direction for Visit MHP slightly changed from just being an initiative to promote mental and emotional health to an initiative that started focusing on peer learning and support community for psychologists who are looking for some kind of a support, because when we speak to psychologists, we have also realized that skill building is one part of the story related to taking therapies, but there are a lot of peripheral skills that you need that we all are struggling with. Content creation is one of them, one that we are talking about today. We know so many people who have been struggling with creating their websites. We know so many people who have been struggling with just finding what their target audience and what their niche is. So there are so many peripheral services that can be incorporated as a part of a peer learning and support community. And I'm sure each of you are skilled in your own ways. You have experimented in your own ways, and you can help and guide other people in your community to grow. And that's the whole base of what Visit MHP is all about. Before I talk about what we are planning to do today, if any of you have any questions about Visit MHP or what we are planning to do, please let me know. I can clarify that, and then we can move into the AI for Psychologists workshop. And it will be great if all of us can say hi to each other. If you could just put it in the chat box, hi. Also let us know where you are from.
मैंने तो
You
सारे
can
L4 को
unmute
भेज दिया.
yourself and speak also if you would like to. Sashin, you were saying.
No, I said मैंने सारे L4 को भेज दिया already chat पे.
Perfect, super.
No, good to see all the faces again. Absolutely.
Perfect. So any questions that any of you have about Visit MHP? I think all of you should already be aware of it, but just covering my bases.
Hi, Nitin. After a long time.
Hi, Megha. Long time.
Hi, Nidhi. Nidhi is also there. Kiran is also there.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see a lot of highs and hellos, but no questions. I'm going to go ahead assuming there are no questions. If you have, please ask, and I'll track back and I'll answer those questions.
So I'll ask one question, Nitin. ये जो विजिट एमएचपी पे हम लोग को डॉक्यूमेंटेशन अपलोड करने को जो कहते हैं सर्टिफिकेट का या इसका, so how is that very validated? Is it manually or is it automated?
It's manually. Someone, so once you upload it, someone from the Visit MHP team checks the document. Right now, the only verification we are doing is this, that you uploaded the document. We check that the document is actually your mark sheet and your master certification. Right. Ideally, we would like to go a step ahead and be also able to verify from your universities and so on, but I'm asking for too much right now. If and when that can be done, hopefully we will do it. Yeah. Right now, that's the basic criteria that we look at. Also, a lot of people have asked me, Nitin, why the website? Because a lot of people now work only through WhatsApp groups and so on. So why are we emphasizing so much on registering on the Visit MHP website? For this reason, that verification becomes very important. At least on the website, I can ask you to upload your documents. We can check it. If I ask people who are on the WhatsApp group to start submitting their documents on the WhatsApp group, one, it will be very uncomfortable for you, and second, it will be very difficult for us to keep track of those documents and so on. So therefore, website gives us a very good opportunity. Also, with websites, there are a lot of other informations that we can share with all of you. For example, we do plan to build up the Wither MHP portal also as a marketplace where you can generate clients, which again in WhatsApp groups will not be possible because we don't want non-psychologists to be able to access the WhatsApp group. There are also a lot of other activities that we want you to be involved in. For example, we want you to share your content, your articles, and so on, give you points for it so that you can redeem those points for a lot of other things that we can do on the website. So there's a full-fledged long-term plan that we have for that. And having a website just makes it a lot more easier to keep track of everything and to be able to scale up the initiative as and when we need to. I'm sure some of you are associated with other initiatives which are related to peer learning and support for psychologists. If you are aware of them and if any of them would like to connect with us so that we can collaborate and work together, I'll be more than happy to do it. Sadly, I've attempted from my side to speak to some of the people who have these initiatives. I have not received as much response as I would have liked to. I'm open to the idea that probably I did not follow up as meticulously that I should have, but I still don't think I've received the kind of response that I would like. And in the community that we are in, I think we can collaborate in many ways. So if you are a part of such communities, and if you know the founders of those communities, as long as the communities are focused on serving or helping psychologists and psychology students, you can help them, let them know. I'll be happy to connect with them if you can share their contact details with me and so on. But please let them know that I would be contacting them and take this from them that they're okay with the idea of having that conversation. That's my only request. Like most of all of you already know, everything that we do under Visit MHP is free. As yet, we are not charging anything for Visit MHP. There are now plans for upgraded memberships. The difference between the free and the paid membership would be primarily following. All current activities that we do still remain free. Nothing changes. But the recorded versions of them will only be available under the paid plans. Also, the coach the therapist initiative that we have will have subsidized pricing for people who are paid members of the Visit MHP initiative. There are other activities that you will have, for example, structured counseling certification that most of you have done, which was completely free earlier, will now be free for people who are a paid member of the Visit MHP initiative. Though we are planning to upload a recorded version of structured counseling certification, like a small capsule course for everyone who is registering, even for the free memberships. So most of what we offer under free remains free. That doesn't change. Some of the additional services, especially recorded versions of modules and online courses and so on, will become a part of the paid memberships. And also certain paid initiatives. For example, we are collaborating with other people who may be offering workshops. And if one of you are offering workshops who are really good at it, you would be okay with someone from our team attending your workshop to just check that it meets our quality. Let us know. We can help you promote those workshops to psychologists who are in the Visit MHP group, but you will have to offer them some discount for the fact that they are paid members and so on. So there are other collaborative opportunities that we have also for psychologists. I think that more or less covers everything about Visit MHP. Komal, did I miss anything? No? All right, perfect.
All.
Super, thank you. We have a lot of people who are helping us under Visit MHP right now, and the entire initiative is working only because they've been willing to support us. Some of them are over here. We have Nidhi, Vedangi, Komal, Kiran, Ashi is there, Nidhi Pandey is there, Sakshi will get involved going forward, Uma is there. So there are people from the group who are actually helping us. Arbina is there. So there are quite a few of these people who are actually running the show. I'm just the face of it and conduct some of the activities that we are doing right now. So a big thank you to all of you and also for joining in, because then you can give us the feedback on what we need to do further to improve this. Next, yeah. Last thing before we go into the workshop, since everything that we are doing is free and these live programs will remain free, obviously we need money to sustain. All of these people have been kind enough to work with us for free, but at some point we will need to begin to pay them also, right? So if any of you are benefiting from the work that we do, please enroll for the paid memberships when the memberships become available, and donate to the ICA Support Foundation. I'll share the link with all of you in the chat box where you can go ahead and donate whatever amount you feel comfortable enough donating. Even if you donate sorry, I'm hearing my own voice. Yeah. So even if you were to donate 10 rupees, that's good enough. Even if you were to donate 10 lakh rupees, that's good enough. We will be more than happy with whatever contributions you can make. So I'm happy I remember to say this. I generally end up forgetting this. Now, coming back to what we are doing today. So the outline of what we will do is we will begin with quickly introducing what AI is. I'm sure most of you are already aware of it, but just to cover my bases. What is AI? Is that something that you need to be scared of? What are the different applications of AI that psychologists can make? And then we will look at specific step-by-step process that I generally follow. And I think that you can follow to be able to do a plethora of things, from identifying your target audience to identifying your content strategy, to be able to create content and then convert content into different kinds of small pieces of social media snippets that you can share at every other place. If you have any other questions about AI after that, feel free to ask me and I'll be happy to answer them. There's a lot that we can discuss about AI and a lot of applications, but then I would probably require a 2-day workshop to do that. So we're going to keep it crisp, but I'll be happy to answer any additional questions that you have as we go along. Now, let's begin with AI. Anyone who wants to quickly share what you think is AI and how AI works? Sorry, if someone is saying something, I'm not able to hear you. Achha, the only thing is I don't want to hear only my voice. So if someone can just add their inputs, that will be good enough to start.
So, sir, for me, it creates content for me, be it a workshop, a webinar, a blog. Probably I can add on things to it if I'm not very satisfied with, but it gives me a broad framework which I can fill in. So from that point of view, I think I'm very happy. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि पता ही नहीं चलता कि कहाँ से शुरू करना है.
Perfect. But that's the application of AI, right? So what is AI? We have a lot of information that is available on the internet now, right? That's the database. Now, what AI does is when you give it a prompt, it goes back to that information based on your prompt, looks at the information available, and then gives you an answer from that, right? So think of it as a questioning and answering machine. There is a lot of information available. You ask a question, it will go back, search for the relevant answer, and come back and give you the answer. The quality of the answer would depend upon the quality of question that you ask, right? So there is a saying called garbage in, garbage out. So if you ask garbage questions, it will give you garbage answers. If you ask good questions, it will give you good answers. And using AI, when people say prompt engineering and they say that you need to be masters of giving prompts to AI, what they're really saying is this. Now, for psychologists, actually, this is not too difficult. Technically, you're already doing this with your clients. Your clients have a lot of information. At times, they give you too much of information that may not be relevant. You then ask them questions. And based on those questions, the clients give you answers. Therefore, questioning tools is extremely important for psychologists. You're basically using the exact same skill with AI to get answers to questions that you want. Having said that, a couple of things that you need to keep in mind is because it works on available information. What you are asking about needs to already have thorough information on internet. So for example, let's say you specialize in CBT. Now, CBT is a field that many people have written about, talked about. There's so many books written about it. So there's a lot of information available on it. So if you were to ask AI about CBT, it will actually be in a far better position to give you answers. But if you were to do something like CHP, which is cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy, which we create, that we work on, right? Now, the amount of information available about CHP on the internet is very limited. If you're using free tools for AI, then they have also a deadline in the sense that information only updated up to, I think, 2022 is what they are using to provide you information, to provide answers to your questions. Right? Now, if there are additional researches, additional inputs that have been provided to the World Wide Web post 2022, whatever the cutoff date is, that information is not incorporated in the answers that you're getting. So that's the reason why if you're trying to come up with something really original, which is very unique, or it's some very new and you're trying to collect information about that, the chances are AI would what we call as hallucinate. Now, what is AI hallucination? It receives your prompt, it tries to find the most appropriate answer. If it does not have enough information, it tries to create a khichdi by combining the available information it has, and then tries to be creatively able to provide you answers. Because it's creatively trying to provide you answers about information that it did not have access to. It has a tendency to hallucinate. Sometimes it may come up with relevant answers, but then sometimes it will hallucinate. So that's the reason why when people say, don't blindly depend on AI information. It's for this reason that if you're asking questions about something which is very specific, which is not available in its database, it will not be able to provide you with the relevant information. Then it will have a tendency to hallucinate. But if you're asking about something which is already readily researched, a lot of information is available about it on the market, especially before 2022, and this is for free tools. Okay? Then they will generally give you very, very good output. Also, there are certain paid tools which will allow you to access more recent information. It will also allow you to search internet in real time, right? So I am not referring to any of the paid tools. I'll probably give you insights about some of those paid tools later on. But what we are covering in this workshop extensively is, as far as possible, free tools. All right. Any questions still here before we go ahead?
So if we try to find out anything. So if we try to find out about CHP, it takes us back to the website.
So if you will try to find out more about CHP, then it will either give you information about cognitive hypnotherapy and not about cognitive hypnotic psychotherapy, because there is more information available on cognitive hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Okay. And therefore, the information that you get is partially hallucinated because it's giving you only a part of the information, not what you're really asking for. What we are doing is on the IHR's website, we'll probably train our own AI models based on all the information available on the IHR's website, which you can then use to collect more information readily about CHCP. That probably will be the next phase from April on. But that's for CHCP. Right? Dr. Vidhu, there was a lot of background sound. If you were asking something, can you just put it in the chat box, please, so that I can answer that? Okay. Any other questions before I go ahead about what is AI? One small thing, a lot of people also say that have started thinking that AI technology is only available today. That's actually not true. The technology to search data and create data out of it has been available for a long time. The problem was there was not enough data available on the internet to use. If you have a strong base, then you will have more information available to create new content. In the last 2-3 years, the amount of information available on internet has literally tripled, if not more. And now, because there's so much of content available, it makes sense to use AI models because those information is available. When I'm saying 3 years before 2022. In the last 1 year, the information probably has further multiplied.
Sir, so may I?
Boliye?
So, when we come to these designing apps, where they are completely designing the posts altogether, so that did not have to wait for so much of information.
Eventually AI is based on freely available information on the internet.
Right.
So once you have a lot of free templates available, for example, there were a lot of image sites earlier, but they were all behind paywalls, right?
Yes.
AI would not be able to use that content. But now with a lot of people having bought and used
Those
it on their
images.
website, the information
Okay.
on the website is available for free.
Right.
The system can scrap through the entire content,
Hanji.
can
Okay.
store it into the
Understood.
database and create it.
Understood. Okay.
So the technology was available in limited quantity. It was already being done, but it's just that because of the amount of information available now, the applications have become multifold. And now it makes sense for companies to invest in it. Pehle, because information was not available, the amount of investment required would have been very high, and the results would have been relatively not so much. Now, it's a good money-making business for a lot of organizations, and we are benefiting from it. Right? Okay. Any other questions still here? Or do we go ahead? All right. So the next thing, should we be scared of AI? Depends on how you use it. Right? When computers were launched in the market, should some people have been scared of computers? Probably yes. Did computers take away some of the jobs that people were doing earlier? Probably yes. But did it also create a lot of opportunities for the same people and other people? The answer is yes. So it's a technology, it's a tool, it's here to stay. You may like it, you may hate it, but there's not much that you can do about it. So you may as well make use of it. Right? And can it replace therapists? It depends again what kind of a therapist you are. So if your primary objective is that I only help my clients by asking questions so that they can get clarity about their own lives, right? Then sooner or later AI would replace you. But if you are saying that I am a therapist who not only helps the client understand their problems, but is able to create a customized approach for the client, am able to use interventions for the client that will work for the client, right? Then it will take a lot longer for AI to replace you. And by then you would have developed your skills to do something else, right? So if you are skilled as a practitioner, you don't need to be worried. If you're not skilled as a practitioner, please go ahead and develop your skills. Before that, working with clients is, in my opinion, criminal. Okay. So that's my take on whether you need to be scared of AI or not. There's a lot that you can learn from it. There's a lot that it can help you in improving your own ability to work with clients. For example, in future, you can have your own notes that you can feed into your own AI, and the AI can give you feedback about what you could have done differently. You know how we go for supervisions? So this can become an assisted tool for supervision. So there is a lot of benefit that you can take away from AI if you use it correctly. So that's about a brief introduction about AI, whether you should be scared of it or not. Next, as psychologist, how do you use it? I'll tell you how I would use it, and then you can decide which of these applications are you comfortable with. If there are additional applications that pop up in your mind, please share with me and I'll be happy to explore that further. So one of the first things that I hear a lot of psychologists telling us is they're not sure who their target audience is. And why is target audience important? I think we've had this discussion earlier in different groups, but just to keep it short, if you know who your target audience is, you will be able to engage with them better, connect with them better. You will be able to establish your expertise better, right? Someone who says, I'm a psychologist who can work with all kinds of problems. Even if you are an expert in all kinds of problems, it will be very difficult for clients to consider you an expert. But when you say, I specialize in helping clients between the age of 20 and 35 address anxiety, especially coming from work-life balance. Now, people recognize that this is your niche area. These are the kind of people you've worked with a lot. So you'll probably be able to better support them. Having said that, don't confuse skills with niche. Only because you're promoting yourself as someone who specializes in anxiety doesn't mean that you only need to know how to work with anxiety, because a lot of clients will come to you for anxiety issues and have relationship as a problem from where anxiety is coming in. So you can't tell them because your problem is the relationship, I can't work with you. So skills you need for everything. As a practitioner, you need to have skills to work with clients for all kinds of issues where psychotherapy will be involved. But specialization is more, not specialization, niche is more like foot in the door, how you want people to remember you. So how do you identify your niche? You can use AI for it. I'm going to give you a very basic prompt and example about this, and I'll share those prompts later on in the chat also. So just let me know once you can see my screen. So I'm going to use simple free chat GPT for this. There are other tools that you can use. But again, my idea is to keep things free as far as possible for what we are doing right. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
So who am I? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell AI who I am. And then I'm going to ask it questions. And let's assume I am a CBT practitioner. So I am a psychologist specializing in CBT who helps clients between the age of 20 to 40 address anxiety and related issues. Now, because I am looking for my target audience, I need to tell the AI what my pricing strategy is. I charge, let's say, what do you want me to write over here? Rupees 2,500 per session. Because I mentioned rupees and rupees are currency that different countries have, I'm going to make it a bit more specific. I am a Indian psychologist, simply because then it knows by rupees, I'm talking about Indian rupees. Who helps clients? I charge rupees 2,500 per session. I conduct my sessions online. So why am I saying online? Because I needed to know basic details about me, which will help it recognize what kind of audience I need to target. Based on the information I have shared with you, I would like for you to help me clearly define my niche, my sub-niche, my target audience and my ideal prospect. Now, what do all of these things mean? Niche basically refers to the broad category of people that I want to target. Sub-niche is a more specialized version of that category. Target audience is people who will fall into that category. An ideal prospect is one client whose traits I can define as this is my ideal client. If there was one client in the world that I would like to target, this is the one client. And then I enter. Okay, so I'm going to briefly walk you through what it has told me. So it has told me my niche is cognitive behavior therapy for anxiety management. And then it's given me a bit of details. Your primary focus is on providing therapy using CBT, and specialty lies in addressing anxiety-related issues using evidence-based CBT methods. Sub-niche, CBT counseling for young adults. It's given me additional details. Target audience, 20 to 40, individuals experiencing anxiety or related issues, such as panic attack, social anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, etc. Those who are comfortable with technology and prefer the flexibility and convenience of online therapy. You may not realize this, but this will be very useful, this one point, when you're creating content later on. Ideal prospect, a 25-year-old working professional who experiences frequent anxiety due to work-related stress and social pressures. This individual is tech-savvy and appreciates the convenience of accessing therapy sessions online. They are motivated to address their anxiety and actively seeking evidence-based interventions. They are willing to invest in their mental health and can afford your sessions fee of rupees 2,500 per session. So I have a broad idea of what my target audience is. Right? Any questions still here before we go ahead?
Sir, but you will be deciding the age of the target audience, no?
Yeah, you can always ask the client. So for example, let's say I change the prompt. So ideally, you should be the one deciding that. But if you're not sure, you can ask AI. Though I am not, if you need to even ask AI what is the age group of people you need to work with, then it's probably, so I'm removing this for now. Who helps clients address anxiety related issues? I charge rupees this much, we can next session. Now, because I have not included age group, I would also ask. What should be the ideal age group of people that I should? And then let's see what it has to say. So actually, it has still given me 20 to 40 only, which is good because that's not a bad age group to target. Right? Now, let's say you were to change this to marital issues. Spelling say, So now it's changed the age group to 20 to 50. Is this clear? The process basically remains the same. Though I would recommend, it's always a good idea to tell the age group. At least utna to you should know. Okay, I'm going back to the first one right now. Are we clear till here? Any questions on this before I go ahead?
Yeah, Nitin, can you hear me?
Okay. हाँ.
अच्छा, so तो अगर हम लोग AI को या चैट जीपीटी को सवाल, the way we ask the question, it is spitting out the answers, right? Now, can we also ask it ki what is the typical counseling charges or rates that are being preferred by the target customers that it is trying to find out? Abhi,
See, so the problem over there is you can ask it, but I would not depend on the answer too much. The reason for that is that one, counseling services are not like a fixed product which has a specific price range, right? And the variation is too high.
yeah,
Plus, when it gives you prices, it will try to accommodate for prices internationally. That automatically changes your price range, because then the charges per session in India, if you're charging 4,000 per session, that's high. In US, if you are charging $100 per session, which is more than 8,000, people think that's okay, that's reasonable.
doable. Yeah, I get it.
Right? So while you can tell it to tell you what the Indian pricing is, but I would not depend too much on that. Also because let's take the example of anxiety. People who are from a very poor to do families also have anxiety. People who are from medium range income also have anxiety, and people who are super rich also have anxiety.
Yeah.
So who you want to target is your choice.
Okay, location wise भी try किया आपने कि बाबा मुंबई, specifically in Mumbai या ऐसा कुछ?
So we can ask it right now.
People, of course, it is
So-
only for face to face, but still.
Correct. So then in the prompt, you will say that. So I'm an Indian psychologist who helps clients issues via face-to-face offline sessions. Probably it will be a good idea to say the location that you're staying in.
Let's say
In
we can
Delhi.
try Pune, yeah, just for sake of it.
So give me the location in Pune. Pune is very big.
Pune Baner, BANER. Hmm.
So now why would this be important? Because when you create ads, in the ads, when you mention that my target audience is also living in the area around Baner, you will be able to give it a prompt of कि 10 किलोमीटर की range के अंदर ही सिर्फ ads दिखाओ. So that actually ends up helping you save a lot of cost on ads, because otherwise you would be targeting anyone and everyone.
Right. Interesting. थोड़ा इसके साथ खेलना पड़ेगा अभी.
Correct. Right? But broadly, even if you do this, this is a good starting point for creating content. When you are doing niche, because that's a completely different thing that we can talk about, but niche identification we had answered a list of around 75 questions to be able to identify and narrow down the niche, the brand identity and everything for iChat. And we are doing the same thing for Weather MHP right now. So you can have a large research on that. All right, coming back. So now we have the basic idea. Next, what you want to do when you're creating content, this is the way I would work. I would want to go with bigger pieces of content first. And from big pieces, create smaller pieces, because it's a lot more easier. Right? Because if you have, for example, let's say 1500 word article, uske andar se creating 4 quotes is not too difficult. But if you have 4 quotes, to create an article out of that is more cumbersome. Right? So it's better to go from broad to smaller, bigger to smaller. Now, before you go into the content, you also need to know what topics you need to create content about.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, when you're working with your clients will be searching for their pain points that they want to resolve. So ask ChatGPT for that.
But can I say something? Is ChatGPT is quite smart like that. If you write this and then tell them that based on the information you have shared, and now tell me the pain points is also enough, right? Without
It is enough, but what happens is, especially for the earlier ones, which are important, I prefer to give it as much information as I can just to avoid any kind of challenge. Let's put it the other way. So create a list of top 5 pain points. That I can focus on.
So it is actually remembering the answer that it
Yeah.
gave earlier. Wow.
But what you have to remember is with free version of ChatGPT,
Hmm.
it starts forgetting answers beyond a point.
Okay. हाँ मतलब ट्रांजैक्शनल हो जाता है आंसर दे दिया फिर तुम्हारी रिस्पांसिबिलिटी
मतलब वो ऊपर का so there is a limit, there is a character limit that after X number of characters in the free version, and that limit is quite big. It's not a small limit, right?
Okay.
But it would beyond a point start forgetting. If you have the paid versions, then the recall limit is high.
Got it.
So it has given you the 5 pain points. Now you can go further. For each of the pain points, recommend 5 topics on which I can create articles that my target audience will be interested in. Or that will be interested in. So it has given you the topics. Let's quickly look at the topics. So stress and performance anxiety, strategies for managing work stress, overcoming imposter syndrome, balancing work and personal life balance, coping with job interviews, mindfulness at work, incorporating meditation for stress reduction, social anxiety and relationship issues. So if you read the topics, you will realize that these are relatable topics for the target audience.
So Nitin, इसमें differentiate कैसे करेंगे? Because now I'm sure many people must be using ChatGPT. So अगर दोनों ने query डाल दिया एक ही similar, not एक but similar query, so there will be overlap, right? Because it's pulling the data from the different data sources.
So two things. Generally does not create the same content twice. So there will be some variation, थोड़ा बहुत वो हो सकता है कि चाहे एक ही word का variation हो, पर there will be some variation. So that's one bit of the story. Second, you want to create differentiation in the actual content that you write finally. which will be the article. And you will give it prompt to personalize it to what your specialization is, what you want to include in. Right? Main topics is topics that your target audience is searching. You want to stick to normal topics that they're searching rather than trying to be too innovative about it. Because there is no point creating an amazing article that no one is searching for.
True.
Right? Any other questions still here on what we have done? So right now we have gone into pain points, and for each pain points created 5 topics for articles. All good?
Yes, sir.
Just let me know once the screen
Sir,
is.
so here, when we are researching the topics, the pain points and the topics, it means that the answers that ChatGPT has given us is what the people are looking for, not the possibilities which are there.
No, I have already mentioned, right? So it depends on the keywords that I've, the question that I've asked. My question was article pain points that my target audience has and that my target audience will be interested in. So obviously, if they are interested in it, they would have searched about it.
Okay, sir. Right.
I can also give it a prompt saying, can you come up with, okay, let's experiment with this. In addition to these topics, can you come up, think outside the box, and come up with 3, give me a good adjective that would go over here.
Alternatives.
Three article topics, 3 alternatives. Actually, alternative, it will give you the alternative for the approach. Therefore, I'm not writing alternative. Come up with 3 more topics that
So you can also write engaging articles.
3 different topics.
that my target audience may not have searched for, but would be interested in and will like to engage with. So basically, upper we had asked it, tell me the topics that they are interested in. Now we are saying out of the box topics that they may not have searched for, but they may be interested. Interesting topics. Is this clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Any questions on this?
So the first prompt was that the audience would be interested in, right?
Correct. So the first prompt was for each of the pain points recommend 5 topics on which I can create articles that my target audience will be interested in.
Right, sir.
Right?
Right,
Okay.
sir.
Are we good till here, all of us? Can I go ahead? Or any of us have any questions?
No more questions.
So which one do you want me to pick up?
So overcoming imposter syndrome.
So next is because of the topic, you need to create an outline. To create an outline for an article on the topic, this, that, Now, Sasha, remember you asked how do we personalize it for our requirement? You can do it here. Remember that I am a CBT practitioner who, let's say I use something else along with CBT, also incorporates a lot of mindfulness work in my therapy session. The outline must also reflect my unique offering. Yeah, my offering. I'm removing unique because actually it's not unique. So, you may add more information. Let's say you are someone who helps people overcome anxiety through self-love. I also focus extensively on self-love as a way to help clients understand and address their challenges. I'm basically telling it about myself. The more information you give about yourself, the more personalized the answer would be. So now, do you see how, apart from the CBT techniques, it's also incorporated mindfulness, it's also incorporated self-love. Right? So you add more details to it and it will create more details for it. Now there are two ways of creating article going from here. You can either ask it to create a complete article based on the outline it is shared with you, or you can go section by section. So let's do both. Create a article of at least 1500 words using the outline you have shared above. You may want to personalize it further. In the outline, you are writing this article on behalf of Nitin Shah, who is a practicing psychologist living in Mumbai, specializing in offering person-centric therapy to clients. I have more than, and you can give more details about yourself to this. I can, for example, also add that I specialize in incorporating these techniques together. Additionally, I can also give it more information like most of my clients are referred by psychiatrists. So you can add those details so that you can personalize it further. it's written a decently long article on what we are looking for. I'll share this document with all of you so that you can go through it later on. Right? All right. Any questions still here? Before I answer a question that I have been asked earlier.
You're like talking to a PA.
So,
खाली बोल रहे हो ये कर वो कर ये कर वो कर. Huh? My God. I never
AI is like, so in our term session, AI is a very literal, physical, suggestible assistant.
I know.
Right? You need to give it input literally, and it can do some amazing work. Now, is Albina here? Okay. So once Albina had asked me, Nitin, am I being genuine when I'm writing this article using AI? Right? Now, the answer to that is twofold. One, what does being genuine mean in terms of creating content? What content you will create that has already not been created? Right? So unless you come up with a new approach, which ChatGPT will not be able to give you an answer for. That's what we struggle with CHP. Right? We can't use ChatGPT because it doesn't know enough about CHP. So either you come up with a new approach altogether, or whatever you are doing is already been done by multiple people multiple times. Why reinvent the wheel? It's like saying that why should I use ABCDE model with my client in therapy? वो मेरा unique model थोड़ी ना है. I'm not being genuine. I'm doing something that I learned from someone else. Right? So keep the context of genuineness in mind. What do we really mean by being genuine? Having said that, would you like to personalize a bit more? And should you personalize a bit more? The answer to that is obviously yes. So the article has been put out by ChatGPT. It becomes a very good first step. You can still go through it, change certain things, change the examples. There are case studies that it has mentioned. Replace those case studies with your case studies. It would have mentioned certain techniques. Change some of the examples over there so that it becomes your example. Now, you can't change thought restructuring to something else, right? What the thought restructuring is thought restructuring. But you can change the example that's given over there. And you can personalize it more. So even while I'm saying that there's really no new information that you will come up with which is not already available, right? Unless you come up with something completely out of the box, then any which is ChatGPT is not creating that content for you. There's still ways of personalizing it, giving it your tone, giving it your flavor, right? And I actually suggest it's a good idea to do that. Because not for the clients, for you, you feel good, thodi to mehnat ki hai. Sashin, hand raised.
So Nitin, given that you have used ChatGPT so extensively, what has been your experience in saying कि जो data वो ChatGPT spit out कर रहा है वो incorrect नहीं है या it's not giving a false information? मतलब going back to the question that maybe have been asked.
See, sorry. So Arvina's question was not about false. What you're asking is more about hallucination. That how do we know that
hallucination?
the information is...
हाँ, मतलब मुझे लगा वो भी वही चाहती कि ये genuine है क्या? Is it true whatever I'm posting?
So her question was, it's not created by me. So I feel like an imposter that I am using someone else's work.
Okay, got it. Fine.
Right? Now, and that's actually a problem that a lot of people have who create content with AI, by the way. But the same people are willing to pay other people to write content for them, which it's mind blowing. I don't really know how does that work. Anyways, coming back to your question, how do we know that the information is correct? So again, it depends on what you're asking. So if you're asking it for specific quotations about research, be rest assured that it will generally be wrong. Okay. If you're asking it for generic information, right, then its information will be more or less correct. You will still need to proofread it once, right? but generally it passes the quality that you're looking for.
So why research will be wrong?
Because research data at times is not quoted correctly in it. It's trying to combine information from multiple datas, right? So when you ask it for a specific data, it doesn't know because it doesn't know where to look for it. There is something called as perplexity.ai, which is more apt for quoting sources. The basic version of that is also free. It does a decent job in being able to quote those research papers. But it doesn't quote only research papers. It will quote research papers, it will quote websites, it will quote basically everything that it gets its hands on. But the reason it's more reliable is because it will also give you the link to it. So you can actually click the link and check whether the link is correct or not.
Thank you so much for this.
So if you have to use ChatGPT and Perplexity AI together, create content in ChatGPT, then check if there is a particular quotation that you really like. Put that quotation in perplexity.ai. If there's a quotation available, if there's a research quote available for it, it will give you the research. For example, with CHP, a lot of times when I've tried searching perplexity, it brings back people to ICHA's website.
ये perplexity क्या है?
It's another tool like ChatGPT.
अच्छा.
Perplexity.ai. Vedangi, hand raised.
So, what about Bard? Like in Bard, there's an option that you can verify कि how much of this is true. जैसे वो green and orange color का वो highlight कर देता है. What about that?
The same thing, similar to Perplexity.
Okay.
In terms of content quality, till the recent Gemini was launched, which is Google Bard's updated version now, ChatGPT was superior. The recent Gemini versions I have not tested, so I don't know. There's also something called as Claude. But it is a paid API. It creates more human-sensitive content compared to all others.
So what? Claude?
Correct. CLAUDE.
Gemini
This is
is the
another
browser
company
version है क्या?
sponsored by Elon Musk.
Gemini browser version है?
हाँ, go to just search Google Bard, वो जो लेके जाएगा same ChatGPT type का ही है. The
One more option.
हाँ. All right, are we good till here? Another thing to keep in mind is, what are you creating content for when we talk about uniqueness? Are you really expecting your clients to address anxiety by reading your article? If you are not a good therapist. If you really think a client can read an article and resolve their problems, then you probably don't understand the nitty-gritties of therapy and why therapy is important. The purpose of article writing predominantly is that you want to establish your authority in front of the client. And when I say authority, what it means is you want the client to realize you know what you're saying. So today, if you want to buy a new laptop, how do you make that buying decision?
By reading.
So you'll go Google, research on it, right? Then you check different brands. Then you research on different brands. In each of the brands, there will be different pieces available. Then you will research on different pieces. And then eventually you will select one piece. Is that correct? Why wouldn't your client do that when they're seeking a therapist? So where would they search? They will search online. If they're searching online, then your content needs to be online. You're really not expecting clients to resolve their problem through online content, no? If you really think that you will create a short reel of 30 seconds, 5 tips to follow to manage your anxiety, and client will tomorrow onwards be anxiety free. So understand the purpose. The purpose is not to help the client resolve the problem because they can't. In fact, I would actually in my content tell clients that while these tips are good, please don't blindly follow these tips. Still connect with the therapist. So you are giving enough information to clients to realize you know your subject. They can reach out to you. They can connect with you. Right? And not so much that they experiment with themselves and then they end up creating a bigger mess out of the current situation they are in. Therefore, keeping information generic is better over there. Is this clear for all of us?
Yes, sir.
Then we go further ahead. Now that you have the article, so I'm going to show you a couple of things on how do you use this article. This or articles that you've already written in the past. Based on the article. Okay, even before that. Let's say you want to create a image for this article. Based on the article you have created. Recommend what type of images should I add to this article? I would like to add 4 images. So let me know where to add these images as well. If you realize right now the prompt that I've given is thoda not structured well, but I've intentionally given it because I wanted to realize how at times it's able to make sense of it, at times it's not. If it's not able to, then you will have to go back and change the restructure the prompt.
So chat GPT-4 version will also give you the image, make the image for you.
So it can make the image for you, or you can use another free tool to do that. Right? So for image 1, create a prompt that I can give to an AI tool that creates images. The prompt must be less than 250 words. So it's given you a prompt, right? Now I think this prompt is bigger than what Bing will accept. So there is a tool called, I'm sure all of you know about Google. You also know about Bing. Bing is the Microsoft equivalent of Google search. Bing has a free image generation tool. It will allow you to create 15 images every day. Did my tab change? Do you see the Bing tab?
So words
Yes.
with AI, create
Huh?
images from words with AI. Huh, right. Yes, sir.
So Bing.com images create, right? Now, so the prompt size is smaller. So I want to just check what is the prompt size. I'm going to go to a website that will give me the word counter. So I'm
You
just
can
seeing how
ask
many
chat
words it's allowing.
GPT. You can ask chat GPT also to tell you the count.
No, it will give you the count. Yeah, it can give me the count, but it's just okay. So it's 480 characters. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, change this in less than 480, right? So less than 450 characters. You can take this, go to Bing, post it over here. If you're not logged in, you'll have to log into your MSN account or Hotmail account. I should be logged in. So it will create the image. On the right hand side, you can see some of the history of images that we have created. These ones. So it's created an image for you. If you like it, brilliant. If you don't like it, then you can ask it for another prompt. Is this clear?
So are these images only graphics? Yeah, it can generate photos also.
It can generate a lot of things, but you will have to be a bit more precise about the kind of prompt you want to give it.
Okay.
Right?
Quite
You can
nice.
say illustrations, you can say real life images, lifelike images. You can also give it more prompts. For example, I'll share one that we created earlier.
The number of words should be 350, you said.
480 characters. It's not in this account, I think. Can you see this?
Yes, sir. Wow.
This was also created by the same application. Clear till here?
Yes, sir.
At times you will have text written on it somewhere, right? And AI is very poor in spellings for some reason. It ends up creating a lot of spelling errors when it comes to
The
images
images.
and text over images. So this is the only place that I would suggest a paid tool. If you have Canva paid version, you can upload the image in Canva. Canva has a feature called grab text. So when you ask it to grab text, it will grab all the text on the image. And then you can correct the spellings and everything over there. Okay. I haven't found a free tool for that. But we have a Canva Pro subscription, so we end up using it anyway.
Nicely, quite nicely it removes.
Okay. Are we good till here?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back up. So what did we want to do? Create content. Based on the article you have created, I want you to recommend by social media posts that I can share on my Instagram. So it's given you the background image, it's given you the code.
No, ChatGPT 4, then we can even add the image and then say caption this or give a headline.
So in ChatGPT 4 also you can do that. There are a lot of other tools also. We use CrawlQ. CrawlQ also does that. CrawlQ will also help you analyze the images and so on. So you can basically add a screenshot of your website and it will analyze the landing page design and give you feedbacks about what you can do. So there are a lot of these things that can be done on the paid applications.
Which one is that, sir?
CrawlQ.
Sorry?
CrawlQ.
Could you please put the name on the chat box? The spelling.
Let me just see where the chat box is.
Wow. And then we'll get used to this whole
In
thing.
case any of you are looking for a paid subscription for CrawlQ, let me know because we are already a member. We can get you discounted pricing on this if you are interested in it. Okay, so it's also given you a carousel for tips. It's given you a behind the scenes sneak peek, image and caption for it, testimonial graphics. It has given you 5 posts. Let's say you want to create a specific kind of post based on the article you have created. I want you to create a reel की spelling correct है, right? It will give you the opening shot and it will give you all of those details.
It's going too fast. You get used to this and something new comes up. You get some used to that and something new comes up.
But eventually all of them would base on the conversation you're having with them. They will just be more prompt, better, but look at the
Now,
same thing.
so Midsummer Journey is now outdated, or people are like still good
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
okay. But eventually you are still having a conversation. And it's just that it will be easier for you to have a conversation with those tools as compared to earlier. And they will generate better content. But the idea will remain the same. Do you want to quickly read this? So opening shot, a cozy office setting with psychologist desk and calming decor. You can just take this.
The ultimate would be if they can take our picture and superimpose it with a psychiatrist or the psychologist sitting.
There
and
are
then
tools to do that, but they're all paid and they're very, very expensive. So cozy office setting with a psychologist desk and a calming chair decor.
or even for interior design, I tell it to create me ideas, and it comes up with some very nice ideas which are not there on Pinterest. So it's like a little different.
Perfect. Is this clear for all of you? Any questions? Do you want to read this or should I go ahead?
So let's go ahead.
Okay. Any question that any of you have till here? I've just given it reel, right? You can give it carousel post, it will create carousel post, and I give you ideas about carousel post. So that's the reason why I prefer to start with the article first, because since you have a lot of content, you can create a lot of small chunks of content out of it.
Right.
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ साक्षी बोलिए.
Sir, for creating images, you mentioned the app Canva, right?
For creating free images, it's bing.com/create.
Bing. Okay.
Correct. Canva, if you have Canva, then you can also do a lot of these things with Canva, especially if you have the pro version.
Okay.
And
And the
Nitin,
Bing
which one
one
is
is
the
the free one.
Sorry, एक एक करके. साक्षी पहले खत्म कर लीजिए, then Megha, I can come back to you in a moment.
The Bing one is the free one.
Bing is free.
It's a free app. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Canva is also free, but Canva में some of the features are paid, which is one of text to image. Is one of them.
Okay.
Megha, you're asking?
Yeah, so you said some app which you had already taken. What was that?
Crawl Q. Chat के अंदर डाला मैंने.
डाला है?
हाँ, chat में डाला.
Crawl Q. And this is really fantastic. Are you going to show how to create our own brochure or the information about our own profile?
Let's see if we have time in the end. We can. Depends
So
on the
that's
time.
very
that we have.
important, actually.
See, it's the
So
same.
it starts
thing.
from there.
Correct, but the idea is it's the same thing. If you've given it enough information about yourself, right, it can give you those inputs. In fact, let me share. Okay, let me complete this and I'll share something else where you can create your prospectus, or you can create your web designs and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, are we clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Anything else about content that you want to ask me first before I go ahead to something else? Any kind of specific content that you want to test creating?
So there are certain video contents where like not necessarily कि जो person बोल रहा है उसी की photo आ रही हो, but वो in general कुछ कुछ दिखा रहे होते हैं. Is there any tool which can create such kind of videos?
There are a lot of tools like that. There is one tool called InVideo, which is a video creating, which is almost like ChatGPT for videos. So you can give it a prompt that, for example, I want you to create a video with 5 tips for people to help them manage anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It will create a video based on that. And you can talk to it. So let's say you don't like the third slide or the third screen in the video. You can tell it, replace the background image of the third video with this kind of image. And it will replace it with that kind of image.
Which one?
So what is
Which one?
So what is the
InVideo.ai. But it's a paid
I
software again.
Okay.
InVideo.ai.
Yeah.
It's a paid one and it's again on the expensive side.
Have you used Canva Pro का जो AI है? Like
Not for video creation.
Okay, so Abhi, I think recently they've come up with the video creation bit, and I tried, but then I'm just learning how to give prompts, so I just wanted to.
I can't hear sir, or he's not there.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. I was just waiting for Komal. Were you saying something, Komal?
No, I just wanted to know if the Canva Pro, have you tried the video bit?
Canva Pro actually doesn't create video. Canva Pro has additional apps that it ties up with to create those videos, as far as if I'm not wrong. Some of them will give you again free credits, but eventually it is all paid. It's very resource intensive for them to keep offering it free.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Right. But I've experimented with multiple tools. I haven't come across anything close to InVideo for giving prompts to create videos. It's just too expensive, and I don't think it's relevant to the kind of content I wanted to create. So therefore, we have not gone ahead with that. But otherwise, it's quite good. All right. Are we good till here? Next, you can also create content for existing content that you have. So there's a tool called Harpa AI. This is again free. This is again very amazing. So one of the problems with ChatGPT is it will not allow you to search internet if you're using the free version, right? And you can't really give it a link and then tell it to create content based on that. So
the name?
Harpa AI. I've shared in the chat box. Harpa also has a paid version, but I've just not been able to figure out why would I want to buy a paid version. The free version has everything that I need. So probably unless you have a team of people and you want all of those people to collaborate, the free version is good enough. So Harpa AI is actually a Google Chrome extension. I've already got it installed on my system, so I'll show you from there only. But otherwise, what you do is go to harpa.ai. It's already giving me this over here because I have the the extension installed, somewhere it will give you an option to install the extension on your Chrome. So it's basically a Chrome extension. Now what it does is, let me give you a quick demonstration. Anyone who has a website?
Yeah, I have.
Arshi, website का नाम बोलिए.
Transol coaching.
Transol
coaching.
.com.
This is single S.
Single S.
No way.
This one?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there a blog over here somewhere?
Yeah. Blogs.
So let's say this one. So you have the pre-written blog now. You can also ask it. So this is the extension. It will open up the. Can you see the extension opening up or no?
Yes, sir.
Based on the content of this, of the article on the current page, create a script for a short YouTube video. Click on this page icon below, which will basically copy the content of the page and then enter. You can also use paid versions of ChatGPT with this. But if you have ChatGPT key, it will also help you use that.
So what are you using? I'm like lost now. What is this?
The software is Harpa.ai.
Wow. So ChatGPT also can do the same.
It can. It's just that if you're using the free version, you can't use the links and so on. So here you can just go on the page and ask it to create based on the contents of the page. This is a very good way of reusing your existing content.
Great.
Clear? If you are using the free version of ChatGPT, all of this will also be available on your ChatGPT. It basically creates a new chat window, and it's also here for your future reference. Clear? So if you want to reuse existing content, Harpa is very good.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions still here? Harpa works the same way. It's basically a ChatGPT wrapper. It basically uses the ChatGPT as its base to give you additional functionalities.
Very nice.
So does it also work on social media articles?
Social media articles in the sense,
तो जैसे let's say LinkedIn पे कभी किसी ने post किया है and if I want to create a video out of it or something.
well, we can experiment.
Do Harpa transcripts videos, right?
Harpa can transcript videos. It can, so a second, I'll show it to you. This is even more amazing. More than transcription, can give you summaries of videos and so on. So go to an individual post. I need a bigger post. जहाँ पे contents ज़्यादा है. Okay, so I'll just see this post. There's a lot of content over here. So you can go to this post by clicking the URL. No. Why does it not take us to its post? Why is it not taking me to the post URL? Any idea?
So I can't see your screen.
You're not sharing the screen, sir.
I'm not sure. Oh, sorry. Is the screen visible?
Yeah.
So for some reason, earlier when you click this, it would take you to the URL. Post. Okay, there may be an easier way. Start on the post page. So the idea is go to the post page. If you try to do it, एक ही जगह से तो नहीं होगा. Open helper, and now you can ask it. Now you can give this to AI for its prompt. So you can basically, it will do the same thing for as long as the content is visible on your screen, it will be able to scrap it.
Okay, sir. Also, sir, is there any limit as to the number of times we can use this tool or something?
It will just increase the speed or decrease the speed. It's using ChatGPT as its base, right? So the only thing is what are the limitations of ChatGPT will be the limitations for this.
Okay.
Are we clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, before I go ahead, sorry, one more thing that I wanted to show you, which is interesting. Remember we created the article?
Yes, sir.
Based on the article you've created, I want you to draft a LinkedIn post using best practices to engage my target audience. The post should be insightful and should subtly promote what I do without the promotion looking too over. Interesting. So sometimes it will show some error. If it shows some error, just refresh. There will also be certain words that it will probably have an issue with. If that's the case, change some of the things. Let's keep. So it's included that as a seasoned psychologist specializing in person-centric therapy, I witnessed the impact of imposter syndromes on individuals' life first. And so it's almost like you are sharing it as your story.
Right.
Any other questions on this? So basically, you can ask it to create specific content for specific type of platforms. You can also say, based on the article you've created, I want you to draft a LinkedIn post in using a storytelling framework using based on a storytelling framework using best practices. There are multiple frameworks that you can use. We can probably discuss those frameworks at some point later, or if we have time, we can talk about it. So it will now convert it into a story.
This is fabulous.
And it's a good way, huh? So it's spoken about the story, but Riya's story isn't just about overcoming imposter syndrome. Vedangi, for your niche,
Yes, sir.
some of these things can be applied as it is.
Yes, sir. That's what I was
So,
realizing while watching it.
Okay, so this was about creating content in specific formats. You can also ask it.
Excuse me, sir.
Boliye.
So the profiles on social media, those are protected, privacy protected. They don't access their information, right?
Again, they are not, they are only accessing information which is freely available, but in 99% cases, any information that you have added to LinkedIn, actually 99.999% cases, that information is already available somewhere else free of cost for people to check. It's highly unlikely that you have information that you have put on internet,
Okay.
which is not available anywhere else. Because there are profiles which are public profiles. You may have a profile which is a private profile, but you have tagged someone who has a public profile. So there are just too many permutations, combinations, variations that exist.
Okay.
Right? So is it possible to maintain your privacy 100%? Possible, probably yes. Probable, probably no.
Okay. So yeah, there it comes. The AI is dangerous also.
But that debate will always see the debate between privacy and usability will always remain.
Nitin, is the
Google knows
content
more about you than probably your parents know today. Say which is your parents know very little about you in most cases, but probably your best friends and partners know about you. Sachin?
is the content by any ways copyrighted? ऐसा हो सकता है कि we are infringing on somebody's content because of ChatGPT? It will not know, na?
So what you can do, the best way to safeguard yourself is use ChatGPT to create the content and run it through a plagiarism software.
So, but ChatGPT does it in such a way that it never really copies. It puts its own thing, right?
Yeah, but there are still places where there is a probability. So just to be safe, you can always run it through a plagiarism check.
I think the laws, right now, the laws haven't come, bro. That's why we are just making hay while the sun shines.
So there are people who have filed cases against OpenAI now. because it's using material from their books, which are paid books. So they are very angry that why is our material being used?
Right.
But by the time all of this gets sorted, something else will come in. So, all right. Are we good till here? Then there's an app called Gamma.app. Oh, this is amazing. Can you see my screen?
The GAMMA.ai.
No. GAMMA.app. MA.app.
APP or AP? APP.
APP. It's good for creating presentations, web pages, documents. See, so when you create your website, you want to create your website, right? But at times you just want ideas about specific pages. Ki how do I present information about this page more effectively? Yes, let me check what it is. So create new. This is changed. So you can tell it, do you want to create a presentation, a document, or a web page? Right? Let's say I want to create a presentation on I offer workshops on give me a
Anxiety.
anxiety page. Anxiety management for anxiety management for people between what was the age group we selected earlier? 20 to 40.
20 to 40.
To create presentation that I can use to pitch this product. So there will be a word limit. Create a presentation that I can use to pitch it. It's created an outline. Yeah. You can select whether you want it to be a brief presentation, a medium-sized presentation, a detailed presentation. Image source. I'm assuming this will be a paid feature. So I'm keeping it free. Image licenses, all images. You can actually say free to use commercially, all images, and so on. Okay, in my case, it's saying that my account credits are over. So let's do one thing. Let's create a new account. Where is the logout option on this? Okay, I'll open a new.
Gamma.app is a paid one.
They have free and paid versions both. The free version अगर मतलब you want to use it once in a meanwhile, that's good enough.
Okay.
So I've just changed my account right now. Probably this month, someone from the team would have experimented with it. So it's telling me below that it will require 40 credits and I have more than those credits, therefore it will allow me to go ahead.
So now we just left with one robot coming and saying, okay, now perform this surgery. That's it, no?
You can actually do, there are bots that you can teach to repeat all the things that you do repetitively. So for example, if you have a tendency to create a content on your website, then share it on Facebook and from there share it on multiple groups. You can train it once and it will do it every time you create a new article.
But I think very soon we'll have robots also performing surgery, flying planes, all that. I mean, flying to anyway, it's on automation, but surgery is also on automation now, actually.
So you can just tell it shuffle theme. It will recommend one of the themes to you.
Yeah, Vedangi, right. I just remembered.
And then generate.
Oh, God. Very nice. Good job. So cool, huh?
It at least gives you a starting point to work with.
Yeah.
You can, if you had the paid version, you could have also used the images. You can also replace the images on this. For example,
So now you are showing a paid version or
this is the free version.
free?
Yeah. It's actually taken a decent image. This probably could have been better. You can also talk to it. For example, edit with AI. Change this image to include हमारा टारगेट और एज ग्रुप क्या आता है 25-year-old boy and feeling anxious. And it will replace it. So you can do a lot of things and play around with this. One thing that I really think you should explore in this is the website bit. Oops, mistake. I am an Indian psychologist. हमने दिया था ना कौन वापस देते हैं. Create homepage design for with anxiety. So create a homepage design for Indian psychologist. Let's just keep this for now. Done. Again, this will not give you like the exact thing because you're not given it all the information, but it will give you a good starting point to edit them.
So where do we take this? Is it WordPress or is it some like Wix or where
No,
can we take
this is simply giving you a design idea. Now you can send it to your designer and you can tell them that I want
Oh,
to
so we'll
design
have
something like
to
this.
then incorporate this.
Correct. So basically, the reason I'm asking you to use this and you can play around with this is because many a times when you're working with designers, it's very difficult for you to tell them what you are looking for. And that actually takes a lot of time. So if you have a sample idea that you can send them, like for example, we were working on the About Us page for iCharts. I had the content, but I was just struggling with which would be the best way of like converting it into boxes and how do I break it down. We gave the content to Gamma. It created a content. We did not use the exact same thing because I was still not happy with it, but it gave me a very good starting point to tell him, अच्छा ये और इसमें ये changes और करो. Right? There are also website. There are also systems now which will help you create websites purely based on AI prompts.
Like
Right?
Wix has it now, so like the AI component.
Correct. But so all WordPress has it, Wix has it, multiple of them has it. But when I've tried, there are also other platforms which integrate with them. But I have not found them to be as satisfactory as I would like it to be. But again, as a starting point, you can always use it and then share it with your designer to tell them these changes I would like you to create in it.
Sir, in fact, I wanted to ask one thing. The IHR's videos, they are very nice. So, with which app they have made?
Which iCharts videos are you talking about? The one which has me in it or the ones that don't have me in it, which are without people?
Both the videos. You into a small corner, those are also good. And with some writing hand coming in, and then you are writing entire circles and everything.
Okay. So those are not AI based. Those were created way back before the AI world came in. The handwritten one, we were using Video Scribe, or right now when we are using again non-AI based, but the name is Animes.
What's that?
I share.
Yeah, the animation part is very, very nice.
the video scribe, Animus. Now there are a lot of software that will be sketch based or doodle. So all of those softwares will basically do the same thing. Now a lot of these softwares are available at a far cheaper rate. There are quite a few of them available. Video scribe is one of the more expensive ones. I don't know.
And is this in video can also be used for these things?
Not for hand-drawn videos. I have not. With the experiment that I have done, not for hand-drawn.
But if we post an article or something like that, it will create a video in video?
InVideo will create a video based on that. For text to video, there are a lot of softwares. There's Wave.video. They will all convert if you have a written article and you want it to be converted into a video.
Okay.
There are a lot of them who can do that. So InVideo is one, Wave.video is another one, Felix is another one. All three of them are good, decent. But InVideo is.
Sir, when we are saying creating text from video, no, sorry, video from text, it means it will give the voice as well.
Depending upon the software, some will, some will not. InVideo would, Wave Video would.
Okay. Right, sir.
Right? So that it includes basically text to speech.
And if there are any, say, like numbers or something like that, kind of things, some explanations into that.
Again, when I'm saying text to video, what it's doing is it's taking your article, whatever is there in your article, it will use it as a base and then convert it into a video.
Okay, okay, sir. And we have to put it in Word form, PDF form, or what? Or
you can just share the link to your article also directly.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Session hand raised. Before I go back to one more feature on Harpa that Kiran had mentioned about.
Quickly, so Nitin, given that you have been using so many tools, right? I was just wondering, आपके वीडियो में आप हो या कोई बॉट ही है उसमें?
The irony is, so the irony that I'm facing is because I love researching on all of these things. I keep trying my hands on multiple of these tools and softwares, but for the content that we are creating, because the information is not available, okay, I have to go back into writing my own things and scripting my own things. So that's one of the bigger challenges that we are facing. That how do we replicate that? Having said that, there is now if you use Google Discover, वो Google के ऊपर अगर आप search पे जाओगे तो gives you a lot of recommended content, right? उसके अंदर you will see small web stories, which is like reels, but it's Google has a specific format for it, which is called web stories. There is a software that I'm testing right now, which will convert our articles into web stories. I'm really happy with its results, but it's still not there. So we are not utilizing it, but that will be one that I will surely start utilizing soon. Any videos in which you are seeing my face, they are surely my face right now. I'm hoping that I could do something about it, but not yet.
इस बार I'll see your lip movement क्या है कैसा है देखते हैं आप ही हो. Very nice.
So there's actually a AI tool wherein you can upload your previous video and आप नई script दे दो and it will create a video wherein like नई script पे पुराना video वो उस तरह से कर देगा कि आपकी lip sync वगैरह सब match कर जाएगी.
देखो.
I think होगा, for example, when you look at videos, when you are in a Zoom call, right? Many times your videos, your eyes are down. So when you record, because you're talking to people, na camera ऊपर है. So when you record and you see the recording, it feels as if the person is not looking at you. They're looking somewhere else. Descript has a feature now where it will sync your eyes. So no matter where you're looking, it will sync it to the camera.
Voice cut is also something like that, right? It'll animate you and it'll make as if you don't even have to do the video. It's like your voice. You have to just record your voice and your face thing. You give one, and then it just kind of.
So there are
But it's expensive.
I've intentionally decided to keep everything that we are doing using free tools because at times you don't want to explore into paid ones, and there are enough free tools available that you can actually benefit from.
Yeah, very expensive also these are.
Going back to Harpa, there is one thing that I wanted to show you. Just give me a second. Let me check a video which has a transcript. Okay. So this is one of the series that we had done a few years back, True Talks for Therapists. There are transcripts added in it, right? So if you are using Harpa, you can ask Harpa to summarize the contents of this video, the free version. It will tell you, pick up a summary format, nested takeaways, captions. Let's say takeaways. Okay, so
Only
this
if it
video
has a
does not.
transcript.
Correct. So it will only be if it has a transcript. There are also software that you can use to transcript it. That's a separate issue. But let me check if there's any of these videos which have a transcript. I don't remember right now. But if the video has a transcript, you can actually summarize it.
YouTube doesn't do the caption on its own.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It started doing it for the new videos. The older videos, it still doesn't. This one has a transcript, it seems. So it will share the takeaways with you. So even from a learning point of view, it can be a good way to summarize your learnings and making notes of it. You can also take the takeaways and convert it into an article. Based on these takeaways, create an article. So this is how you can repurpose other people's content. It will take some time to pass the video. I'll come back to this once it's done. Are we clear till here? But Harpa is quite extensive. There are a lot of nice things that you can do with Harpa from a learning point of view also. You can go to a website and ask it to do a SEO audit of that website, of that web page, and give you recommendations.
Do a SEO, sorry?
Audit for the page. And give you recommendations for improvement. So you can also you can basically improve your content again. Vedangi, hand raised.
Sir, I generally use like specific colors in my posts and everything. So in the Bing, like in the Bing, क्या बोलते हैं, tool that you were talking about, is it possible to say कि वही मतलब मुझे इस in like in particular colors में चाहिए?
You just have to remember that there is a prompt limit, right? Within that limit, whatever you tell it, it will generally respect that.
But how do I specifically give the shade कि मतलब मुझे exactly ये वाला color चाहिए? Like if I have a
there are color codes, na? So if you are using a particular template, then the template would have different colors and each color would have associated color code with it.
Okay.
Share the color code with it.
Okay.
Okay. Are we good till here? All right. Any questions till here? We have done quite a few of tools and so on. But any specific questions or queries that you have that you want me to take up?
Have to come for therapy now with each other for overwhelm.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. पहले वाला भूल गया. अभी इतना देखने के.
Unless
the
we
thing to keep in mind
practice.
is actually simple, Sachin. And to be fair, for all of us who are therapists, right? Working with AI should be easier because you're already very good with asking questions, or ideally, at least you should be good with asking questions, right? What you're really doing is asking questions to the app. The more effective your questions are, the more effective the answer would be.
What was interesting to see is that we are interacting with it like a human being, right? We are not interacting it like a search engine. जैसे मैं अभी database में query मारता हूँ तो मेरी query अलग हो जाती है. but I'm defining myself, and it actually knows me now, and then creates the content based on what it knows about me, right? So that's what.
So that's one of the reasons why I actually like CrawlQ a lot, because when you are working with ChatGPT, you need to tell it again and again who you are.
हाँ,
Right?
वो
What
मेरा next
CrawlQ
question
does is
था.
I can actually create a workspace where I can give it all the details about me. Now it knows my details. And I can actually share my articles with it, and it will then keep the voice of those articles in mind when it's creating new articles. So all articles for iChar's websites are created by us, but all articles that we create for other websites are created by CrawlQ.
Got it. Yeah, because जैसे मैंने पहले पूछा था ना, फॉर एग्जांपल चैट जीपीटी इट रिमेम्बर्ड, राइट? बट वो सेशन के लिए ही है, अगर आपने ब्राउजर बंद कर दिया तो इट्स गॉन, राइट? कि
नहीं, in that chat window, because there are different chats that are created, when you go back, you can open back that chat again. For example, जब मैंने आशी के साथ किया था, आशी की वेबसाइट पे किया था, it opened a new chat. I went back to the previous chat and everything was stored over there. So each chat has its own history, but there is a character limit. Beyond that, it will then start forgetting the previous content.
Okay, so it will override it, and then the buffer will.
Madhvi, you asked about for PPT. Coincidentally, if you have a subscription for Microsoft 365, it already gives you the option to create presentations using AI.
Hey, I have 365. I don't have that.
It has a co-pilot. If you go to the website version of it, it will have a
Oh,
co-pilot.
website version.
Yeah, and you can create. Microsoft is heavily invested in AI business right now. They are bringing it in everything that they do.
They've even brought up a competitor for Canva.
It is
Which,
the
what is
Microsoft
that?
Designer.
Designer, yes, huh?
So
Also, sir,
Microsoft has launched something called as Microsoft Designer, which is supposed to be a replacement for Canva.
also, sir, sometimes people recommend कि आप चैट जीपीटी में प्रॉम्प्ट डालने से पहले आप उसको उस तरह से लिखो, like let's say for social media post you can like ask the like you can tell ChatGPT that you are a social media expert and then do XYZ. So why do we add those kinds of prompts? Ki you're a social media expert or you're Instagram expert or whatever.
So again, you're defining a role. So when you don't say anything, ChatGPT is using all the information available. Like I said, right? Initially, I mentioned that I am a psychologist and for me, create a content. So I'm giving it a role. I'm giving it a framework कि इसके अंदर create करो. If I tell him that I am this, I want you to act as a graphic designer and recommend graphics for my website, then it knows that its role is limited to graphic designer. Then it will not apply too much of mind.
Okay.
But it will apply more mind towards the graphic designing.
Okay.
Right? So you can actually tell ChatGPT in the beginning itself that act as a web designer, act as a content creator. You can also give it styles. For example, if you feel, tell me a popular author's name.
So Carol Dweck.
Say that again.
Carol Dweck.
Carol Dweck. So you can actually tell ChatGPT in the tone of Carol Dweck, create an article on this topic.
Oh.
As long as there's enough information and content available created by her.
Okay.
Am I audible for all of you?
Yes, sir.
So in the style of Stephen Covey, create the following article and it will create that article.
Nitin, a lot of information, a lot of software.
It is. So the reason for doing this workshop today was to actually help you realize that while there is a lot of information, the truth is you're just having a conversation with it. If you know what you want, you can tell it and it will generate that content. And we are
Yeah.
only using free tools for doing all of this right now.
Sorry, what tool?
Only free tools to do all of this right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, of course.
Right? So now, to summarize what we have done so that it becomes easier. Begin with telling, if you don't know what a target audience and niche is, begin with telling the system who you are, what you do, who you work with, and ask it to define for you. What is your niche, your sub niche, your target audience, and your ideal prospect is. Then ask it, what are the top 5 pain points that my target audience has? For each pain point, let me know 5 topics on which I can create extensive articles that my target audience will engage with or will be interested in. Create an outline for the first topic. Create a detailed article. Give it a word limit. I generally would tell it 1500 words. Creates the article. Based on the content of the article, create reel, YouTube video script, carousel post. So now you're just telling it what it needs to be done. At any point, you can add more information that will help it fine tune the content that it's creating. You can take that content, put it in gamma.app, you can put it in Office 365, and it can convert it into documents or presentations. One last thing, you can also ask ChatGPT what you want ChatGPT to ask. For example, so when people keep saying prompt engineering and you need to know exactly what prompt to create, so it's given you the snippets, takeaways. Hypnosis can be a powerful tool for therapy, offering a unique approach to addressing various psychological issues. Effective therapy may require flexibility and adaptability to meet the needs of the client, such as extending session times or adjusting therapy methods. Building trust and rapport with client is essential for long-term therapeutic relationship and successful outcomes. Adapting therapy techniques and approaches based on individual clients' needs and preferences can enhance therapeutic effectiveness. Continuous self-reflection and professional development are crucial for therapists to refine their skills. So it's basically converted the video into 5 chunks, and based on those 5 chunks, it's given you the key learnings.
Nice.
So I was sharing something else with you right now. What prompt to give? I want you to help me SEO audit an article that I will share with you. Create a prompt that I can give you for you to conduct an effective SEO audit. Feel free to ask questions for additional information that you need. So it will create a prompt for you. So while it's creating, Komal, because I used Harpa right now for creating the summary, it has used a lot of content, and therefore ChatGPT will now automatically become slower for me because I'm using the free version.
Bots everywhere hazarding us free work.
Komal, hand raised.
You had mentioned that there are certain tools that help us transcribe videos. Could you mention which one?
These are all paid tools. We use Nuta and we are very happy with it.
Could you please write the spelling in the chat box?
Megha, we are almost done only now. Recording will be going up on iChar's website, but मुझे पता नहीं है क्या format है. Whether the recording is
और
available
कितना
to-
टाइम लगेगा?
Probably 10 more minutes.
10 more. Okay.
So Nuta is easy. Right? It will transcript the video. It will give you key takeaways. It will give you the summary. It will also give you the overall insights about whether the overall insights are positive or negative. You can also use it as a coaching tool where it will study you and will recommend to you what you need to improve while you're conducting webinars or sessions.
Sorry, how
That's
that will
really
happen?
nice.
So no, you've done a webinar and then?
So that webinar, when you are doing the webinar, you will activate Nuta, and with Nuta
Activate which
on,
one?
Nuta, N-O-O-T-A. मैंने इसके ना डाला है. So in this group, Nuta is there. It will be by the name of assistant.
Okay.
Nitin, Nuta is for what again?
So it's for transcribing the entire thing, converting it into summary, giving you key takeaways and action points of what you need to do based on that. You can also tell Nuta what kind of a meeting you were doing. If you are doing, let's say, a sales meeting, it will analyze the meeting from a sales call point of view and tell you what you need to do different in the sales call. If it's a webinar, you can tell it it's a webinar and it will analyze it. So it's really interesting.
So that is paid.
So coach on PowerPoint also does that. When you put a rehearsal, it'll tell you, you said this too many times and this is not making sense, blah, blah, blah.
Similar.
Nitin,
Like you have Nuta
any
account and
other?
then you add Nuta to the Zoom meeting.
So when you go to Nuta, on Nuta you can add your Zoom meeting link. It will join as a participant.
Wow.
So if you're
wow.
using the app, if you're using browser, it will screen record the browser and based on that do the transcript.
That's amazing. So that's better than Coach also, the Microsoft Coach.
So is this paid?
Nuta is paid.
So there's no free version.
Huh?
So there's no free version for Nuta.
There will be क्या बोलते हैं उसको? There will be a trial period or something that you can use it for, but
Nitin, Nuta say free on the website when I go to Nuta.
when you go in it, you will be able to use it for, it's a limited trial. Beyond a point, you will have to pay for it. वो कुछ in a month you will be able to transcript 1 hour का video or something ऐसा कुछ होगा.
Right.
For us, that's of no use because महीने में पता नहीं कितने तो webinars करते. तो if I have to transcript every webinar, there's no way that we can use a free version of this.
And how much is the fee?
We took it on a lifetime deal, but right now I think you will have to check on the website. I don't actually know.
Sure.
Again, if you are interested in this, let me know. Probably because we are paid members of it, there may be options where we can talk to them and there are rates available that they can offer. Right? Crawl queue, I know it's available because the crawl queue person has already told us this. Nuta मुझे पता नहीं, I'll have to check.
Nitin, any other AI app for the Excel?
What do you want to do with it? Oh, I recently came across an AI app, again paid app, but amazing. You can give it a prompt on Excel. It will create a overall storyline for a book, an outline for a book, and create a complete book for you.
So which one is that?
I don't remember. I'll check and I'll share it with you. I just explored it day before yesterday. I just kind of stumbled upon it.
Nitin, I was saying
sorry,
Excel.
Ranjan, क्या बोल रहे हो?
I have an Excel sheet. I want to automate that AI automation. Is there something some AI app can do?
You want to automate it in what way?
Oh. So I have some formulas and everything. I want that to be embedded in a program inside, and it will automatically generate what
So
I
there
want.
there are what we call as chat GPT assistants. So when you go on, you can actually create your own AI assistants based on prompts that you give them. So tools are available. I'm not sure if I can readily tell you which tool it is, but there are multiple tools available which will help you create your own chat bots for doing automation work.
Okay.
Especially if the work is repetitive and follows a pattern, then though it will do it. You just have to train it once.
Okay.
Right? You also have softwares which will now, you can create an Excel sheet and it will create posts based on those Excel sheets and post it on your social platform.
So can you explain that? I just didn't get that.
So let's say you have an Excel sheet. In the Excel sheet, you have written your captions, right? You can ask the software to take those captions, convert it into a social media post and post it on your social profile.
Really?
On the time that you're scheduled it for.
Oh. Amazing.
But sir, I have noticed.
Nidhi, एक second, the one that we used to use earlier is called. Just give me a second, because we're no longer using it. But it was quite good. Seed Hive is one.
Seed Hive.
Seed Hive. एक second, let me just check which the other one is. Which one was the one that we were using? So another. There's one app that we use, which is which helps us figure out the top unanswered questions on Quora and then share it with us so that we can answer them. OQ is the one that we used to use. It's an application where you can give it a prompt. So it's one where you can give it prompt. It will convert it into a social media calendar. It will help you create a month-long calendar, and then you can schedule.
Now information indigestion is happening.
Nitin, please come again. Which app you said?
VidQ. Oh, sorry. Which one?
OQ. Have you mentioned?
OCOYA.
Is it a free or you have to subscribe?
This is a paid one. This is a paid one. All right, Sachin hand raised, and then we start closing.
Yeah, quickly. I just noticed the AI companion in Zoom. ये क्या है? तुमने इतना AI देखा, ये तो पता ही होगा.
So this will help you. It's similar to what we were talking about in Nuta. It will help you transcript and give you the key takeaways.
Oh.
So if you have a paid subscription for Zoom, you can also use this. We use Nuta also because Nuta will allow us to clip sections of the video and then convert it into a reel or something.
Got it. Got it.
All right. Any other questions as we start closing down now? There's a lot that we can do. We can have but I wanted to introduce you to all of you to this so that you know at least this is what you can get started with.
This is also a lot.
Is there any other tool that can help us to understand this better? Whatever you taught.
The easiest is become a paid member of Visit MHP, and then you will have the recording of the video available with you with the transcript and so on, and you can make use of it over there. So that was a good question, Sachin. It helped me pitch in something.
And You put it very smoothly and nicely also.
Also, for those of you who feel, especially if you're creating, because we had a lot of people telling us that we want to create a website and we don't know who to connect with, who to work with, and so on. So we now have someone on board who you can connect with, who can help you create websites. So Komal's website has been done by him. My website has been done by him. And we are quite happy with his work, and therefore we have decided to introduce him to other people also. The only requirement is that the website that he will create will be created in WordPress.
Yeah, that's the struggle I'm facing with him because I already have my other two one NGO and my interior in WordPress, and that keeps something or the other keeps going bad. Like today also some donors wanted to give donation, it's not going. Something to do with WordPress, but nothing ever happens like that on Wix with me.
So WordPress, actually, that it will all depend on what theme and what everything you're using. A lot depends on that. So therefore, we decided that we want to have someone on board who's specializing in working with that. Taki, they are only giving you systems that we know are working. And we experimented with it with my website, with Komal's website, with Misbah's website. So all of our internal websites, except for iCharts, because that was done prior, and with MHP. Except for these two websites, all our websites are done by the same person.
So then also it becomes very person dependent. Like on Wix, I can run my own campaigns. I can do my own corrections. I'm in control of everything.
You can do the same thing on WordPress also. It's just depends.
It's horrible. The learning curve. I opened it and I saw. I was like, oh my god, ये तो कौन करेगा? And then उधर update आता है ना थोड़ा सा. Total everything goes for a toss. You look update करते हैं तो Wix does the updating on their backend. यहाँ पे you have to do the update on your own. They have done update. You do a click update. Your site is gone.
So that's the reason why when you are, so actually it's not gone, it goes into temporary maintenance and images. But the point is that if you're using one platform, which is a free platform, because the cost for all other platforms beyond a point starts scaling very big. And the advantage of WordPress is it is predominantly a free platform. Agar aap plugin bhi use karoge, to the cost will never be as high as the other platform.
Yeah, Wix has become very expensive.
Yeah, but then it delivers, no? It delivers. Like I've not had any issues, but I've had so many issues with WordPress. Like,
but then that will depend on the theme and the plugins that you're using. Arshi, WordPress as a system is being used by 65% of the World Wide Web right now. It is one of the most stable systems you'll come across. But themes and plugins that you're selecting may have a problem. Again, that's the point why we have Harish on board, because of this, that he tests everything. We replicate the same thing on different websites to ensure that we know that those plugins are working and so on. So we have someone on board for websites. You can connect with them if you're interested. Put it in the group and we will help you connect with him. There's also someone who's doing the content work. If you're interested, if you feel this is too much and you want someone else to do it for you, then that's a possibility that can be done. These are the two things that we have on board right now. Harish is currently we are experimenting with Harish for running our ads. If we get results with that, then we will also probably introduce him for that. But anyone that we introduce, we want to experiment with them ourselves to be completely sure before we introduce them to someone else. Yep, so that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you've really benefited from what we have done and you would like to donate, I'm sharing the link for the donation.
So बड़ा donation है, छोटा वाला नहीं है.
उसके अंदर आप amount भी डाल सकते हो. You can put 10 rupees also to take the donation. It will not say no.
Okay. I already have an NGO that I'm struggling with, so I mean I feel like I'll give you thoda sa.
I will also be sharing the link for the feedback form, and I request all the participants to take some time to fill it. It's a very chotu sa form, but it will genuinely help us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure उस पे भी कोई AI tool होगा feedback के ऊपर.
अभी नहीं है. We will look for something to analyze the feedback. Exactly. Not for the drafting of the. Actually, we could have done it, but anyways, Komal did it for us. So
it's all man-made, huh?
Okay, thank you, Nitin. Thank you for such an informative session. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this. You found this insightful.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Chalo, everybody
And I
pay
look,
up, huh? Pay up, pay up.
Yes.
and I look
Thank
forward
you
to
so
seeing each of you in any of the subsequent sessions that we have. There are more things that we are planning. Also,
Send the
like I said,
link on
if you are-
WhatsApp group.
and like I said, if you have people who are already doing things related to other therapists and like a therapist collective or something where other people are helping psychologists, peer learning and support, help them connect with me. I'll be happy to take this forward and see how we can collaborate and it can benefit from all of us or benefit all of us.
Sure, Nitin.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Good night.
Thank you, Nitin.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Have the book
Thank you,
crochet
sir.
next
Thank
one back
you.
moving.
Thank
Have
you.